Hey everybody, it is another daily puzzle, 2/28, 2015. That's the date. Let's do this. It's a Saturday. Woke up bright and early just for y'alls. Go get that. Go get that. Go get it. You got this, man. Or lady. You got this. Here we go. Alright, Saturday, so we know it's a toughie, right? It's got lots of pieces surrounding the king's position here on the queen's side. Actually looks pretty straightforward. Chop, bam, bam, slam. The last move, I guess, is tricky, but that's a pretty straightforward combination. I guess I should be talking through my thought process. I'm going to finish off the combination and then back that thing up and do it again. And I'll talk about why I recognize this idea so quickly. And okay, like they could play another move here, but this is definitely going to be leading to mate. So what I first recognized, thinking it would be tough and looking at the pieces around the king, was this idea of rook takes a6 and bishop to c6 check. And the idea of rook takes a6, b takes a6, bishop c6 check, king a7, and then knight b5 mate was literally how I saw it in my head, that was mate. And I looked down and saw that there's a pawn on a2, which means it was not mate because the a file is clearly blocked. But that immediately led me to realize that a4 would be the final idea there. And the reason is this pattern here with a deflection of the pawn that's safeguarding the king on a diagonal is something you see in so many scenarios. You see it with a rook on the back rank, and sometimes you sack a rook on a8, the king takes it so that he's not protecting a6, and then your queen will capture the a6 pawn while the bishop pins a pawn on a diagonal. We've all seen that combination, right? Ideas where we attract the king to be on this diagonal in order for those types of tactics to work. So this isn't the same thing. It's a different pattern, but it's all around the same idea that we're deflecting the pawn on b7 on the diagonal with the king to open up the squares around the king. And so rook takes a6, b takes a6, and bishop c6 check just pops into the head immediately. And after king a7, okay, you see it's not mate, but you're going to continue to look at a line like that when the first two moves have been so forcing. And in general, I talk a lot with you guys about this hierarchy of the moves to consider when you talk about checks and then captures and then tempo moves, right? Forcing moves. But really, as far as the hierarchy within the hierarchy, there is such a thing, right? This sounds like we're talking about a communism, discussion or, social, I don't know. But the hierarchy within the hierarchy is that the moves you want to consider often are the moves that leave the least amount of options for your opponent, right? You want to stay focused on the moves. If you're considering a move and there's legally one option, not like only one move you think they should play, but there's legally one option, you really should continue to look at lines like that until you get to the end of it. Very often in games you'll calculate and there'll be legally one option for 2-3 moves, and at the end of the combination you'll see that there really isn't any knockout blow. There's no knockout punch to deliver, and so you give up on the line. So the fact that you were sacking all those pieces isn't a good idea, and you don't do it. But as long as you're calculating a line where there's legally one option for your opponent, you're sort of morally obligated as a chess player to continue to follow through in that variation. If you're giving up on a line where you didn't get to the end of a combination when your opponent was playing only moves, then that's a you problem. You're being undisciplined and not following through on your calculation. So, or if you genuinely feel like you struggle to keep going with long lines, then that's a visualization issue. And you can actually click here, click on this bubble, and go check out. I have a video series on improving your full board awareness and visualization skills. It's sort of a specific kind of muscle you can build so that you, and there are different tricks. Just playing chess and working hard to push the limit on your own brain and try to see ahead will help that already. But there's also some tricks and exercises you can do that I was taught and I relate in those videos, so you can go check those out. So anyway, so if you're calculating forced moves and there's only one move for your opponent, like I said, you're obligated as a chess player to follow through. And so rook takes a6, b takes a6, bishop c6 check, king a7, and knight b5 check are all leading to only moves. A takes b5, and again, I originally thought that was mate. I'll be totally honest with you, because I've seen combinations that literally could be like this exact position with just no pawn on a2, where the answer would be rook takes a6, b takes a6, bishop c6 check, king a7, and knight b5 mate. And so looking at that, that's how I saw that the idea in the end would be takes, bishop c6 check, and then a4. And so, okay, there's no move here to avoid a takes b5 mate besides bishop a5, which is just delaying the inevitable. You will still play a takes b5 and then follow that with rook takes a5. So definitely a fun one. to bring the week of tough daily puzzles to a close. Tomorrow is Sunday, so we will be back to slightly easier combinations to build our daily puzzle muscles throughout the week, so we can build up to what has been two very interesting and tricky puzzles the last 2 days, right? Friday and Saturday for sure. And so I like this one. It's always nice to end a combination with a move like a4, right? Who doesn't like that? So hopefully that advice on how we approach the position and what I was talking about, the way you consider the moves and following through on lines that require only one response from your opponent always, and really you should follow through on lines that require only a couple responses where it's sort of genuinely generally forced, right, where it's not 100% forced, but it's sort of the same mentality there. You're obligated to follow through on those positions, especially if you smell blood in the water, right? That means you're a shark, and you probably are right. So thank you everybody again. And we are going to see you next time, right? Go ahead and give me a like on the puzzle. Give me a thumbs up like. It's always helpful. And we'll see you next time.